Hello folks, and welcome back to SLE Equipment here in Nashville, Tennessee. Today we're doing the instructional video for this 8.5 by 20 blue with blackout trim custom concession trailer. Not too custom, but a little bit of customization to it, but we'll go over it here. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is your power supply. Make sure that your power supply is turned off before you hook up the trailer to it. Alright, once you've ensured your power supply is turned off, you're going to come right here, slide your plug in. It is a twist lock, so you're going to twist to the right, and then if your plug has this collar on it, go ahead and tighten that down. If it doesn't, don't worry, it's designed to stay in place firmly. The ones with the collar, it needs the collar to keep it tight. Once you've done that, go ahead and plug into your power source, be it generator or shore power, and then at that point you're good to turn on the power supply. It is a 240 volt system, so we just want to be safe rather than sorry. Alright, up here on the front of this trailer we have the 5,000 pound tongue jack, the generator platform. Right here we have the 36 by 36 V-nose access door. Take a look inside here. We have the 30-gallon freshwater tank. There's the cord to this unit, so this unit does not have the collar on it. No worries, again, you're good. And then over here next to the door we have the 6-gallon water heater. Right behind that we have our water pump mounted on the wall there, and then right around inside here we have the electric panel. Next to that, the charger. Right below that is the fuse panel for the 12 volt system, and then the 12 volt battery here. So the 12 volt system controls or powers all of your exterior and interior LED lights. So if you have a light that is not working, and the water pump as well, but if you have a light that's not working or the water pump's not working, come here to this fuse panel first, check and make sure the fuses are all good. Most of these are quick exit or quick ID systems, so if the fuse is blown, there'll be a light next to it that's lit up. And then that green light on the bottom of the charger there, that just indicates that the charger is got power to it and charging that 12 volt battery. And then we have rubber coin flooring here throughout the entire unit. And then right here, this line is our blowout line for winterization purposes. You'll get that video in a separate video once the trailer is purchased. This line here is the drain for the main water tank. You can see this handle's not in line. Same here, it's not in line. That just means that that valve is closed, no water will travel through there. This one here you can see is open. It's in line with the water line, and that is our main supply line for the fresh water tank. Alright, back at it here. Come on around here. Right here on the side of the trailer, on the front driver's side, is the city water access panel. To fill that fresh water tank, you're going to remove this cap here, insert your hose here, fill the tank, remove your hose when you're done, and then replace your cap. Alright, if you have access to a city water supply, you can pull this cap off. Here you see it has a screen filter on it. This is a common water hose fitting. You can buy a commercial grade, commercial food grade water hose that you can connect up here, and you can run that. If you do that, that bypasses the fresh water tank, supplies water directly to the water heater and the faucet, and then this key will be inside the unit hanging around the faucet. Alright, let's go down here right quick. Down here we have the waste tank drain. So common water hose fitting here, 3-inch hose fitting here. You can get a 3-inch hose at any RV camper supply center, online, any of those places. Once you've removed your cap according to the size you're going to use, and attached your hose, you're going to come here, pull this handle out to the side, let the contents drain. When done, just push that back in, remove your hose, and replace your cap there. Alright, we're going to back off here. Here we have the 36 wide, 78 tall entry door. LED light just off to the side of it there. And then here we have two 5,200 pound axles, steel wheels. One thing I want to note on these is in behind this little rubber centerpiece here, that does come off. There is a grease fitting in there. So once every 10,000 miles or 12 months, you will need to remove that rubber cap, connect the grease gun to that fitting, and grease that properly. That just helps keep the bearings and hubs in proper working condition. All right, let's move on around to the back of the trailer here. Back here you can see the 200-pound propane tank cages. License plate holder up here at the top. We already have it, the gas lines ran on this along with regulators and hoses, so you can see those there in the picture as well. That is our supplied gas tank hooked to the trailer right now, and we'll go over that here shortly. All right, coming down passenger side, there is an awning on this unit. We'll run that out here in a few minutes, take a look at that. The 250-200-pound axles here. Did fail to mention, each wheel has that black rubber cap with the grease fitting in behind it, so you will need to grease all 4 wheels. All right, and then here we have the 5-foot wide concession window with horizontal sliding windows there, flip up counter as well, LED lights on either side of the concession window. And then for this flip up counter, all you're going to do to lower it, come right here, push in one latch, come over here, push the second latch in, just kind of rest your arm against it. Well, I raised it up a little bit. There we go. You press both latches, you can do it with one arm, one hand, and there you go. All right, so let's talk about the gas system on this. So the first thing with the gas, you need to make sure concession window is open and glass is open. Now this does have screens on it, so you can leave a screen. Oh, well, I'll show you that in a minute. You can leave the screen shut, but when you got to have the glass open so the air can flow through there. Once we've done that, then we're going to come around here and go back inside the trailer. We're going to set this key right there. All right, now that we're inside the trailer, we've got our glass window open. Here's the variable speed control for the exhaust fan. So we're going to turn that on. You can turn it on high, you can turn it all the way down low, anywhere in between. So you'll hear your fan come on. Once your fan is on, oh, sorry. Also have the light switch here for the 2 LED lights on the fan. See those there. Once your fan is on and running, then at that point, now you're good to turn your gas on. Sorry, one more step. You're going to want to come down through here. Once the appliances are in, you're going to want to come down and make sure that all your appliance knobs are in the off position. So for our purposes today, I'm just checking to make sure that our valves, these are in the off position. They are. Again, handle is not in line with the gas line. That indicates it's off, closed. So now we're ready to go back out and turn on our gas. All right, so you're gonna come right here to your tank. You're gonna open this valve all the way. Once you've opened that valve all the way, then you're gonna come over here. Right here, you can see it says vent right there. You're just gonna kind of listen, make sure you don't hear any hissing of gas, and make sure you don't smell an abnormal amount of gas right here. If you have either of those, shut your tank back off, contact your local gas company, have them come out and service the unit. There's a good chance your regulator is bad. All right. However, if this checks out, now you're ready to go on to the next step, which is simply come right here, take this handle, flip it up. Again, putting it in line. That opens that valve. You'll hear an initial whoosh of gas run through here. That's all you should hear. Okay. If you hear gas continually running through here, then at that point you'll want to shut this back off, go back inside, check your knobs, make sure everything is in the off position, and then come back out here, open this valve back up, and listen again. If you still hear gas continually flowing through here, then at that point you want to shut everything off, contact your local gas company, make sure, or have them come out and service the unit, just to make sure everything is like it should be. If you're hearing gas running through this line, that tells you that gas is flowing somewhere that it should not be flowing at that point. Okay. One concern, these gas lines do run underneath the trailer. We have to do that. So, but with that comes the possibility of, during transit, any kind of debris on the road, such as rocks, rubber, metal, whatever, wood, whatever, could kick up off the road, hit that gas line, potentially rupture it. Okay, so if you hear the gas running through there continually, shut that back off, contact your local gas company, have them come out and service the unit. All right, if not, you got that valve open, you hear the initial whoosh, that's it, you're ready to go inside and fire up your equipment. All right, so one thing I will tell you, or a couple of things I want to mention here, is once you've installed the equipment on this unit, I would recommend turning on your gas, but having all your equipment turned off. Let it sit for about, with the hood turned off, window closed. Let the trailer sit empty, nobody in it, for about 15 minutes. Just make sure that, and then after that 15 minutes, shut your gas off, open the door, make sure you don't smell an abnormal amount of gas. It's just a really strong odor of gas, okay? If you do smell that, then at that point, you probably want to check your pilot lights, make sure that they're set to the proper setting, but step out of the trailer, let it air out, open your window, leave your door open, turn your exhaust fan on, let it air out before you come back in the trailer for at least 5 to 10 minutes, okay? If you don't have a strong odor in here, you're good to go. Majority of the time you will not. Occasionally you do when we test these here, and 99% of the time when I do have that strong odor, it's because the pilot lights need to be adjusted on the unit. All right, since I don't have any equipment to light and show off, we're gonna go to the grease hood here. So this is a hood services 24 or hood. It is a 10-foot hood, 36 inches out from the wall. So a couple things I want to talk about right quick with the hood. Once a week at bare minimum, you'll need to pull your filters out. You're going to do that by lifting up, tilting out, and lowering down, okay? And then slot it in at the top, raise past the bottom rail, drop it down. That's how you're going to take that in and out, all right? And once you do that, you want to make sure that all of your slots in between your hoods, or between your filters there, is nice and tight. That way it doesn't leave any gaps for large chunks of grease to get in behind the grease, or behind the grease filters there, and into the hood, potentially causing a fire inside the hood at some point, and keeps any debris from getting sucked up into the hood and hitting the fan as well. All right. On this hood, it does come with a grease cup here. A little different design than what I'm used to seeing, but I like it. It's pretty nice. So it just slides in right there. You're good to go. I'm going to have the grease cup up here in the sink so that it does not fall out, bang around inside the trailer during transport. All right, and then you can see we have the fire suppression system here set in place for the equipment that we were told was going in it. So it is ready to go, just waiting for equipment. With this fire suppression system over here, we have the control head. If you needed to discharge this control head or this system manually, you can do so much like a fire extinguisher. Grab right here, give a good firm pull on the pin. You're going to break that seal when you do. Flip this handle up to the left, and at that point you're going to want to exit the unit. Go ahead and turn your gas off. All right, now part of the fire suppression system, it does have this gas valve down here in the corner. So if the system is tripped, whether it's automatically because it's working like it should or manually, then that gas valve there is going to shut off the gas coming into the trailer. That is the first point of egress into the, or entry into the, so ingress into the trailer there for the gas. So it's going to shut it off at that point, not allow any gas to flow any further beyond that. All right, up here in the top corner, we have the chemical suppressant tank mounted there. All right. And one last thing I want to, or a couple things I want to talk about real quick on the end of the fire suppression system So part of that is the carbon monoxide and explosive gas alarm that we provide as part of the fire protection system. So this thing in a minute will go to all zeros, just indicating, or to a zero, indicating it's not detecting any gas. Then after that, it'll flash and beep, and it'll flash LB. That just means low battery. That's because the battery is right there. I keep it out. There is the manual for this. It will be in the sink as well. I do recommend you familiarize yourself with the manual, mostly because any codes that this thing is going to pop up are listed inside that manual. And on the back side here, you can remove this cover. There's a cord wound up in here for the plug. This plug does detach, so you can mount this unit anywhere on the wall as long as it reaches the plug will reach a outlet there. And then on this side here is a mounting kit, and this is also where the 9-volt battery plugs into the unit at. All right. And like I said, I'm just going to have these sitting down here in the sink as well, so that we're certain those do not get lost as well. All right. Last up with the fire suppression system is the 2 fire extinguishers. One is a class ABC, just a good all-around general purpose fire extinguisher. Can be used on pretty much any type of fire. And then the other is a class K fire extinguisher. Class K extinguishers are required in every commercial kitchen in all 50 states. So we do provide both of those as part of the fire suppression package here at SLE. All right, as you can see, excuse me there. This unit has aluminum mill walls all the way around. Up here in the front, we have the upper V-nose, or upper shelf in the V-nose, lower shelf in the V-nose, 3-bay sink with drain boards on either end, the hand wash sink, 2 cabinet doors. Cabinet doors just simply look into the V-nose portion of the trailer. And then right here is the on-off switch for the water pump. You see it's this flow jet water pump there. So you're going to want to make sure that that is on before you turn on your water. At the beginning of the day, come into the trailer before you turn power on. Go ahead and turn your water on both sides on your sink as well, or your hand wash, and just let those run. You're looking for this good, consistent, steady flow of water. Once you have that on both sides, like you see there, then you can go ahead and shut that back off, and at that point, plug in your unit and go ahead and plug in your water heater. All right, that just simply tells you that the water heater is full and is now ready to be plugged in. If you plug it in without that water heater being full, you can and most likely will burn up the heating element inside that water heater. Then you got to pay to replace that heating element, or potentially just replace the entire unit. So you save yourself some money there, just with that little step. All right, and that's water on both sides working. And then now we're going to demonstrate this water on the hot side just to show temperature. .132, there we go. That'll continue to climb here at 133 right before I turned it off. So I just like to show that it will get above 120. 120, some counties require 115, but at minimum usually it's 120. All right, we're gonna go around, check all these plugs. 2 lights on indicates it's working. So while I'm doing this, I want to draw your attention to this little sticker right here real quick. This just goes over safety guidelines and procedures for concession trailer, general safety and maintenance, startup and shutdown procedures. Both of those are primarily going to deal with the gas. We'll go over the shutdown here in just a second, and then before transit. So before transit, you want to do things like, you want to check things like make sure that your doors and windows are shut, any cables, cords, hoses of that sort are all disconnected. Check the brake lights, turn signals, running lights, make sure they're all working properly. Make sure your lug nuts are all tight, tire pressure is correct, things of that sort. Go through, check all that, and then make sure any make sure your flip-up counter is down. Alright. So, with the gas system in this, once you're done at the end of the day, you're ready to shut down, you're going to go through and just check and make sure that all of your appliances are in the knobs are in the off position. And once you've ensured that all of those are off, if it's a fryer or something of that sort that has a manual button to light, then you can manually turn that off. You'll want to go ahead and do that. If it's a griddle or charbroil or something like that, most ovens, they have, and burners, they have free-flowing pilot lights, so those will shut off once the gas burns out of the lines. Alright, but go through, make sure any manual knobs or all your knobs are in the off position, and any manual pilot lights have been turned off. And then at that point, leave your grease hood on, leave your concession window open. You're going to exit the trailer. You're going to come out here and you're just going to go to the back and turn off your gas here, okay? So you're going to come right here. You open this valve all the way. You're going to close that valve all the way. And once you've ensured that that valve is closed all the way, then you're going to come right here to your knob, turn it to the off position, and then go back inside. It may take a minute or two for all the gas to burn out of the lines. Once it has, and you've visually verified that all your pilot lights are out, then at that point you are free to turn off your grease hood. Okay. All right, now we're gonna come back around here. One last thing about shutdown. At the end of the day, I do recommend that you unplug your water heater just to prevent it from, so that you ensure that the next time you get in the trailer, you make sure the tank is full before turning it on. All right. And then inside the unit here there's 4 LED light strips, 2 more here, 2 more here. So you can see all the LED lights. And then we also have the Furion AC in the roof here. Filter behind here, vent right here. Cool. Fan over here, and then this is your temperature setting knob. This may be the favorite place of most to stand inside the unit, just because that air is good and cold coming out. All right. One thing I did fail to mention here: on-off switches for all your lights, interior and exterior, right here. Interior light is this middle one. These two are your exterior lights. And then let's walk outside. Take a look at the awning on this. Getting a little windy is why I didn't want to leave it out the entire time for this video, but there you can see the awning rolled out, ready to go. And we'll come back in here and I'll show you where the button for that awning is. So right here next to the concession window is the button. So retract means just that, bring the awning in. Extend, just to extend it out. So we're gonna hold the retract button and I can let you see this as it's going in. And there it is in its final rest. All right. All right, that is going to do it. If you're watching this video and you've not purchased a trailer with us, and you see this trailer or any other trailer on our website that you like and you would like to build it out, design it to suit your needs, please give us a call here at SLE. To the customer who purchased this trailer, we appreciate your business very much. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the trailer. That's going to do it for today's instructional video. Hopefully you at least learned a little bit of information. We thank you for your business, and we'll see you guys next time.